Sahih al-Bukhari asking permission. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, Allah created Adam in his picture, 60 cubits, about 30 meters, in height. When he created him, he said to him, Go and greet that group of angels sitting there, and listen what they will say in reply to you, for that will be your greeting and the greeting of your offspring. Adam went and said, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. They replied, Assalamu alayka wa rahmatullah, peace and Allah's mercy be on you. So they increased wa rahmatullah. The Prophet added, so whoever will enter paradise will be of the shape and picture of Adam. Since then the creation of Adam's offspring, that is stature of human beings, is being diminished continuously to the present time. Sahih al-Bukhari 6227 reference 79 Hadith 1. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah bin Abbas. Al-Fadl bin Abbas rode behind the Prophet as his companion rider on the back portion of his she-camel on the day of Nar, slaughtering of sacrifice, 10th Dhul Hijjah, and Al-Fadl was a handsome man. The Prophet stopped to give the people verdicts. In the meantime, a beautiful woman from the tribe of Qatham came, asking the verdict of Allah's Messenger. Al-Fadl started looking at her as her beauty attracted him. The Prophet looked behind while Al-Fadl was looking at her. So the Prophet held out his hand backwards and caught the chin of Al-Fadl and turned his face to the owner sides in order that he should not gaze at her. She said, O Allah's Messenger, the obligation of performing Hajj enjoined by Allah on his worshippers has become compulsory, on my father who is an old man and who cannot sit firmly on the riding animal. Will it be sufficient that I perform Hajj on his behalf? He said, Yes. Sahih al-Bukhari 6228 reference 79 Hadith 2. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet said, Beware. Avoid sitting on the roads. The people, said, O Allah's Apostle, we can't help sitting on the roads, as these are our places, here we have talks. The Prophet said, If you refuse but to sit, then pay the road its right. They said, What is the right of the road, O Allah's Apostle? He said, Lowering your gaze, refraining from harming others, returning greeting, and enjoining what is good, and forbidding what is evil. Sahih al-Bukhari 6229 reference 79 Hadith 3. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah. When we prayed with the Prophet we used to say, As salam be on Allah from his worshippers, as salam be on Gabriel, as salam be on Michael, as salam be on so and so. When the Prophet finished his prayer, he faced us and said, Allah himself is as salam, peace. So when one sits in the prayer, one should say, At-tahiyatu li-Allahi was salawatu, wa tayyibatu, as salamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatul iahi wa barakatuhu, as salamu alayna wa ala abadillahi as-salihin. For if he says so, then it will be for all the pious slave of Allah in the heavens and the earth. Then he should say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammad peace be upon him and abduhu wa rasuluhu. And then he can choose whatever speech, that is invocation, he wishes. See Hadith number 797, Volume 1. Sahih al-Bukhari 6230 reference 79 Hadith 4. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, The young should greet the old, the passerby should greet the sitting one, and the small group of persons should greet the large group of persons. Sahih al-Bukhari 6231 reference 79 Hadith 5. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, The riding one should greet the walking one, and the walking one should greet the sitting one, and the small number of persons should greet the large number of persons. Sahih al-Bukhari 6232 Reference 79 Hadith 6. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, the riding person should greet the walking one, and the walking one should greet the sitting one, and the small number of persons should greet the large number of persons. Sahih al-Bukhari 6233 Reference 79 Hadith 7. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, the younger person should greet the older one, and the walking person should greet the sitting one, and the small number of persons should greet the large number of persons. Sahih al-Bukhari 6234 Reference 79 Hadith 8. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Al-Bara bin Azib. Allah's Messenger ordered us to do 7 things: to visit the sick, to follow the funeral processions, to say tashmit to a sneezer, to help the weak, to help the oppressed ones, to propagate as-salam, greeting, and to help others to fulfill their oaths, if it is not sinful. He forbade us to drink from silver utensils, to wear gold rings, to ride on silken saddles, to wear silk clothes, dibaj, thick silk cloth, kasi and istabrak, 2 kinds of silk. See Hadith number 539, Volume 7, Sahih al-Bukhari 6235 Reference 79 Hadith 9. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah bin Amr. A man asked the Prophet, what Islamic traits are the best? The Prophet said, feed the people, and greet those whom you know and those whom you do not know. Sahih al-Bukhari 6236 Reference 79 Hadith 10. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Ayyub. The Prophet said, it is not lawful for a Muslim to desert, not to speak to his brother Muslim for more than 3 days while meeting. One turns his face to one side and the other turns his face to the other side. Lo, the better of the two is the one who starts greeting the other. Sahih al-Bukhari 6237 Reference 79 Hadith 11. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas bin Malik. That he was a boy of 10 at the time when the Prophet emigrated to Medina. He added, I served Allah's apostle for 10 years, the last part of his lifetime, and I know more than the people about the occasion whereupon the order of al-hijab was revealed to the Prophet. Ubay bin Ka'bi used to ask me about it. It was revealed, for the first time, during the marriage of Allah's Messenger with Zainab bint Jahsh. In the morning, the Prophet was a bridegroom of her and he invited the people, who took their meals and went away, but a group of them remained with Allah's Messenger and they prolonged their stay. Allah's Messenger got up and went out, and I too, went out along with him till he came to the lintel of Aisha's dwelling place. Allah's Messenger thought that those people had left by then, so he returned, and I too, returned with him till he entered upon Zainab and found that they were still sitting there and had not yet gone. The Prophet went out again, and Sahih al-Bukhari 6238 Reference 79 Hadith 12. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission said I with him till he reached the lintel of Aisha's dwelling place, and then he thought that those people must have left by then, so he returned, and so did I with him, and found those people had gone. At that time the divine verse of al-hijab was revealed, and the Prophet set a screen between me and him, his family. Sahih al-Bukhari 6238 Reference 79 Hadith 12. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas. When the Prophet married Zainab, the people came and were offered a meal, and then they sat down, after finishing their meals, and started chatting. The Prophet showed as if he wanted to get up, but they did not get up. When he noticed that, he got up, and some of the people also got up and went away, while some others kept on sitting. When the Prophet returned to enter, he found the people still sitting, but then they got up and left. So I told the Prophet of their departure and he came and went in. I intended to go in, but the Prophet put a screen between me and him, for Allah revealed, O you who believe, enter not the Prophet's houses. 33.53. Sahih al-Bukhari 6239 reference 79 Hadith 13. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Aisha sad face. The wife of the Prophet, Umar bin al-Khattab used to say to Allah's Messenger, let your wives be veiled, but he did not do so. The wives of the Prophet used to go out to answer the call of nature at night only at al-Manasi. Once Sauda, the daughter of Zama, went out and she was a tall woman. Umar bin al-Khattab saw her while he was in a gathering, and said, I have recognized you, O Sauda. He, Umar, said so as he was anxious for some divine orders regarding the veil, the veiling of women. So Allah revealed the verse of veiling. Al-Hijab. A complete body cover excluding the eyes. See Hadith number 148, Volume 1. Sahih al-Bukhari 6240 reference 79 Hadith 14. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Sahl bin Sa'di. A man peeped through a round hole into the dwelling place of the Prophet, while the Prophet had a midray, an iron comb, with which he was scratching his head. The Prophet said, had known you were looking through the hole, I would have pierced your eye with it, that is, the comb. Verily, the order of taking permission to enter has been enjoined because of that sight, that one should not look unlawfully at the state of others. See Hadith number 807, Volume 7, Sahih al-Bukhari 6241 reference 79 Hadith 15. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas bin Malik. A man peeped into a room of the Prophet. The Prophet stood up, holding an arrowhead. It is as if I am just looking at him, trying to stab the man. Sahih al-Bukhari 6242 reference 79 Hadith 16. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Ibn Abbas. I have not seen a thing resembling lamam, minor sins, than what Abu Huraira narrated from the Prophet, who said Allah has written for Adam's son his share of adultery which he commits inevitably. The adultery of the eyes is the sight, to gaze at a forbidden thing. The adultery of the tongue is the talk, and the inner self wishes and desires and the private parts testify all this or deny it. Sahih al-Bukhari 6243 reference 79 Hadith 17. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas. Whenever Allah's Messenger greeted somebody, he used to greet him 3 times, and if he spoke a sentence, he used to repeat it thrice. Sahih al-Bukhari 6244 reference 79 Hadith 18. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. While I was present in one of the gatherings of the Ansar, Abu Musa came as if he was scared, and said, I asked permission to enter upon Umar 3 times, but I was not given the permission, so I returned. When Umar came to know about it, he said to Abu Musa, why did you not enter? Abu Musa replied, I asked permission 3 times, and I was not given it, so I returned, for Allah's Messenger said, if any one of you asks the permission to enter thrice, and the permission is not given, then he should return. Umar said, by Allah, we will ask Abu Musa to bring witnesses for it. Abu Musa went to a gathering of the Ansar and said, did any one of you hear this from the Prophet? Ubay bin Ka'b said, by Allah, none will go with you but the youngest of the people, as a witness. Abu Sa'id was the youngest of them, so I went with Abu Musa and informed Umar that the Prophet had said so. See Hadith number 277, Volume 3, Sahih al-Bukhari 6245 reference 79 Hadith 19. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. I entered the house, along with Allah's Messenger. There he found milk in a basin. He said, O Abu Hur, go and call the people of Sufa to me. I went to them and invited them. They came and asked permission to enter, and when it was given, they entered. See Hadith number 459 for details. Sahih al-Bukhari 6246 reference 79 Hadith 20. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas bin Malik, that he passed by a group of boys and greeted them and said, the Prophet used to do so. Sahih al-Bukhari 6247 reference 79 Hadith 21. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Hazim. Saul said, we used to feel happy on Fridays. I asked Saul, why? He said, there was an old woman of our acquaintance who used to send somebody to Buddha. Ibn Maslama said, Buddha was a garden of date palms at Medina. She used to pull out the silk, a kind of vegetable, from its roots and put it in a cooking pot, adding some powdered barley over it, and cook it. After finishing the Jumu'ah, Friday, prayer, we used to pass by her and greet her, whereupon she would present us with that meal, so we used to feel happy because of that. We used to have neither a midday nap, nor meals, except after the Friday prayer. See Hadith number 60, Volume 2, Sahih al-Bukhari 6248 reference 79 Hadith 22. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Aisha. Allah's Messenger said, O Aisha, this is Gabriel sending his greetings to you. I said, peace and Allah's mercy be on him, Gabriel. You see what we do not see. She was addressing Allah's apostle. Sahih al-Bukhari 6249 reference 79 Hadith 23. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Habir. I came to the Prophet in order to consult him regarding my father's debt. When I knocked on the door, he asked, who is that? I replied, He said, I. He repeated it as if he disliked it. Sahih al-Bukhari 6250 reference 79 Hadith 24. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. A man entered the mosque while Allah's Messenger was sitting in one side of the mosque. The man prayed, came, and greeted the Prophet. Allah's Messenger said to him, Wa alaykas salam, returned his greeting. Go back and pray as you have not prayed properly. The man returned, repeated his prayer, came back and greeted the Prophet. The Prophet said, Wa alayka salam, returned his greeting. Go back and pray again as you have not prayed properly. The man said at the second or third time, O Allah's Messenger, kindly teach me how to pray. The Prophet said, when you stand for prayer, perform ablution properly and then face the Qibla and say Takbir, Allahu Akbar, and then recite what you know from the Quran, and then bow with calmness till you feel at ease, then rise from bowing, till you stand straight, and then prostrate calmly, and remain in prostration, till you feel at ease, and then raise your head, and sit with calmness till you feel at ease and then prostrate. Sahih al-Bukhari 6251 reference 79 Hadith 25. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission with calmness, and remain in prostration, till you feel at ease, and then raise your head, and sit with calmness till you feel at ease in the sitting position, and do likewise in whole of your prayer. And Abu Usama added, till you stand straight. See Hadith number 759. Volume 1. Sahih al-Bukhari 6251 Reference 79 Hadith 25. Sahih al-Bukhari. Asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, in the above narration number 268, and then raise your head till you feel at ease while sitting. Sahih al-Bukhari 6252 Reference 79 Hadith 26. Sahih al-Bukhari. Asking permission narrated Aisha. That the Prophet said to her, Gabriel sends salam, greetings, to you. She replied, Wa alayhi as-salam wa rahmatu Allah. Peace and Allah's mercy be on him. Sahih al-Bukhari 6253 Reference 79 Hadith 27. Sahih al-Bukhari. Asking permission narrated Urwa bin az-Zubair. Usama bin Zayd said, the Prophet rode over a donkey with a saddle underneath which there was a thick soft fadakaya velvet sheet. Usama bin Zayd was his companion rider, and he was going to pay a visit to Sa'd bin Ubadah, who was sick, at the dwelling place of Bani al-Harith bin al-Khazraj, and this incident happened before the Battle of Badr. The Prophet passed by a gathering in which there were Muslims and pagan idolaters and Jews, and among them there was Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, and there was Abdullah bin Rawaha too. When a cloud of dust raised by the animal covered that gathering, Abdullah bin Ubay covered his nose with his rida sheet, and said to the Prophet, Don't cover us with dust. The Prophet greeted them and then stopped, dismounted and invited them to Allah, that is, to embrace Islam, and also recited to them the Holy Quran. Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul said, O man, there is nothing better than what you say, if what you say is the truth. Sahih al-Bukhari 6254 Reference 79 Hadith 28. Sahih al-Bukhari. Asking permission so do not trouble us in our gatherings. Go back to your mount, or house, and if any one of us comes to you, tell your tales to him. On that Abdullah bin Rawaha said, O Allah's Messenger, come to us and bring it, what you want to say, in our gatherings, for we love that. So the Muslims, the pagans and the Jews started quarreling till they were about to fight and clash with one another. The Prophet kept on quietening them, till they all became quiet. He then rode his animal, and proceeded till he entered upon Sa'd bin Ubadah. He said, O Sa'd, didn't you hear what Abu Habab said? He meant Abdullah bin Ubay. He said so and so. Sa'd bin Ubadah said, O Allah's Messenger, excuse and forgive him, for by Allah, Allah has given you what he has given you. The people of this town decided to crown him as their chief, and make him their king. But when Allah prevented that with the truth which he had given you, it choked him, and that was what made him behave in the way you saw him behaving. Sahih al-Bukhari 6254 Reference 79 Hadith 28. Sahih al-Bukhari. Asking permission so the Prophet excused him. Sahih al-Bukhari 6254 Reference 79 Hadith 28. Sahih al-Bukhari. Asking permission narrated Abdullah bin Kabi. I heard Kabi bin Malik narrating. When he did not join the battle of Tabuk, Allah's Messenger forbade all the Muslims to speak to us. I would come to Allah's Messenger and greet him, and I would wonder whether the Prophet did move his lips to return to my greetings or not till 50 nights passed away. The Prophet then announced, to the people, Allah's forgiveness for us, acceptance of our repentance, at the time when he had offered the Fajr, morning, prayer. Sahih al-Bukhari 6255 Reference 79 Hadith 29. Sahih al-Bukhari. Asking permission narrated Aisha. A group of Jews came to Allah's Messenger and said, As-samu alayka, death be on you. And I understood it and said to them, Alaykum asamu wa al-lana. Death and curse be on you. Allah's apostle said, Be calm, O Aisha, for Allah loves that one should be kind and lenient in all matters. I said, O Allah's messenger, haven't you heard what they have said? Allah's messenger said, I have already said to them, Alaykum, upon you. Sahih al-Bukhari 6256 reference 79 Hadith 30. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's messenger said, when the Jews greet you, they usually say, As-samu alaykum. Death be on you. So you should say, in reply to them, Walaykum, and on you. Sahih al-Bukhari 6257 reference 79 Hadith 31. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, if the people of the scripture greet you, then you should say, in reply, Walaykum, and on you. Sahih al-Bukhari 6258 reference 79 Hadith 32. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Ali. Allah's messenger sent me, as Zubair bin al-Awwam and Abu Marthad al-Ghanawi, and all of us were horsemen, and he said, proceed till you reach Radat Kak, where there is a woman from the pagans carrying a letter sent by Hatib bin Abi Balta to the pagans of Mecca. So we overtook her while she was proceeding on her camel at the same place as Allah's messenger told us. We said to her, where is the letter which is with you? She said, I have no letter with me. So we made her camel kneel down and searched her mount, baggage etc., but could not find anything. My two companions said, we do not see any letter. I said, I know that Allah's messenger did not tell a lie. By Allah, if you, the lady, do not bring out the letter, I will strip you of your clothes. When she noticed that I was serious, she put her hand into the knot of her waist sheet, for she was tying a sheet round herself, and brought out the letter. So we proceeded to Allah's messenger with the letter. The Prophet Sahih al-Bukhari 6259 reference 79 Hadith 33. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission said, to Habib, what made you owe what you have done, O Hatib? Hatib replied, I have done nothing except that I believe in Allah and His Apostle, and I have not changed or altered my religion. But I wanted to do the favor to the people, pagans of Mecca, through which Allah might protect my family and my property, as there is none among your companions but has someone in Mecca through whom Allah protects his property against harm. The Prophet said, Habib has told you the truth, so do not say to him anything but good. Umar bin al-Khattab said, verily he has betrayed Allah, His Apostle, and the believers. Allow me to chop his neck off. The Prophet said, O Umar, what do you know? Perhaps Allah looked upon the Badr warriors and said, do whatever you like, for I have ordained that you will be in paradise. On that Umar wept and said, Allah and His Apostle know best. Sahih al-Bukhari 6259 reference 79 Hadith 33. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Sufyan bin Harb, that Heraclius had sent for him to come along with a group of the Quraysh who were trading in Sham, and they came to him. Then Abu Sufyan mentioned the whole narration and said, Heraclius asked for the letter of Allah's messenger. When the letter was read, its contents were as follows. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. From Muhammad peace be upon him, Allah's slave and his apostle, to Heraclius, the chief of Byzantines. Peace be upon him who follows the right path, guidance. Amma Badu, to proceed. See Hadith number 6, Volume 1 for details. Sahih al-Bukhari 6260 reference 79 Hadith 34. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger mentioned a person from Bani Israel who took a piece of wood, made a hole in it, and put therein 1,000 dinar and letter from him to his friend. The Prophet said, that man cut a piece of wood and put the money inside it and wrote a letter from such and such a person to such and such a person. Sahih al-Bukhari 6261 reference 79 Hadith 35. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Sa'id. The people of the tribe of Qurayza agreed upon to accept the verdict of Sa'di. The Prophet sent for him, Sa'di, and he came. The Prophet said, to those people, get up for your chief or the best among you. Sa'di sat beside the Prophet and the Prophet said, to him, these people have agreed to accept your verdict. Sa'di said, so I give my judgment that their warriors should be killed and their women and children should be taken as captives. The Prophet said, you have judged according to the king's, Allah's, judgment. See Hadith number 447, Volume 5, Sahih al-Bukhari 6262 reference 79 Hadith 36. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Qatada. I asked Anas, was it a custom of the companions of the Prophet to shake hands with one another? He said, yes. Sahih al-Bukhari 6263 reference 79 Hadith 37. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah bin Hisham. We were in the company of the Prophet and he was holding the hand of Umar bin al-Khattab. Sahih al-Bukhari 6264 reference 79 Hadith 38. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Ibn Mas'ud. Allah's Messenger taught me the Tashahhud as he taught me a surah from the Quran, while my hand was between his hands. Tashahhud was, all the best compliments and the prayers and the good things are for Allah. Peace and Allah's mercy and blessings be on you, O Prophet. Peace be on us and on the pious slaves of Allah. I testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and I also testify that Muhammad peace be upon him is Allah's slave and his apostle. We used to recite this in the prayer, during the lifetime of the Prophet, but when he had died, we used to say, peace be on the Prophet. Sahih al-Bukhari 6265 reference 79 Hadith 39. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah bin Abbas. Ali bin Abu Talib came out of the house of the Prophet during his fatal ailment. The people asked, Ali, O Abu Hassan, how is the health of Allah's Messenger this morning? Ali said, this morning he is better, with the grace of Allah. Al-Abbas held Ali by the hand and said, don't you see him, about to die? By Allah, within 3 days you will be the slave of the stick, that is, under the command of another ruler. By Allah, I think that Allah's Messenger will die from his present ailment, for I know the signs of death on the faces of the offspring of Abdul Muttalib. So let us go to Allah's Messenger to ask him who will take over the caliphate. If the authority is given to us, we will know it, and if it is given to somebody else we will request him to recommend us to him. Ali said, by Allah, if we ask Allah's Messenger for the rulership and he refuses, then the people will never give it to us. Besides, I will never ask Allah's Messenger for it. See Sahih al-Bukhari 6266 reference 79 Hadith 40. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission Hadith number 728, Volume 5, Sahih al-Bukhari 6266 reference 79 Hadith 40. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Mu'ad. While I was a companion rider with the Prophet he said, O Mu'ad. I replied, Labayk wa sa'daik. He repeated this call 3 times and then said, do you know what Allah's right on his slaves is? I replied, number. He said, Allah's right on his slaves is that they should worship him, alone, and should not join partners in worship with him. He said, O Mu'ad. I replied, Labbaik wa sa'daik. He said, do you know what the right of Allah's salves on Allah is? If they do that, worship him alone and join none in his worship. It is that he will not punish them. Another chain through Mu'ad. Sahih al-Bukhari 6267 reference 79 Hadith 41. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Dar. While I was walking with the Prophet at the Hura of Medina in the evening, the mountain of Uhud appeared before us. The Prophet said, O Abu Dar, I would not like to have gold equal to Uhud, mountain, for me, unless nothing of it, not even a single dinar remains of it with me, for more than 1 day or 3 days, except that single dinar which I will keep for repaying debts. I will spend all of it, the whole amount, among Allah's slaves like this and like this and like this. The Prophet pointed out with his hand to illustrate it and then said, O Abu Dar. I replied, Labbaik wa sa'daik, O Allah's Messenger. He said, those who have much wealth, in this world, will be the least rewarded, in the hereafter. Except those who do like this and like this, that is, spend their money in charity. Then he ordered me, remain at your place and do not leave it, O Abu Dar, till I come back. He went away till he disappeared from me. Then I heard a voice and feared that something. Sahih al-Bukhari 6268 reference 79 Hadith 42. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission might have happened to Allah's Messenger, and I intended to go, to find out. But I remembered the statement of Allah's Messenger that I should not leave my place, so I kept on waiting, and after a while the Prophet came. And I said to him, O Allah's Messenger, I heard a voice and I was afraid that something might have happened to you, but then I remembered your statement and stayed there. The Prophet said, that was Gabriel who came to me and informed me that whoever among my followers died without joining others in worship with Allah, would enter paradise. I said, O Allah's Messenger, even if he had committed illegal sexual intercourse and theft? He said, even if he had committed illegal sexual intercourse and theft. Sahih al-Bukhari 6268 reference 79 Hadith 42. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet said, a man should not make another man get up from the latter's seat, in a gathering, in order to sit there. Sahih al-Bukhari 6269 reference 79 Hadith 43. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet forbade that a man should be made to get up from his seat so that another might sit on it, but one should make room and spread out. Ibn Umar disliked that a man should get up from his seat and then somebody else sit at his place. Sahih al-Bukhari 6270 reference 79 Hadith 44. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas bin Malik. When Allah's Messenger married Zainab bint Jahsh, he invited the people who took their meals and then remained sitting and talking. The Prophet pretended to be ready to get up, but the people did not get up. When he noticed that, he got up, and when he had got up, some of those people got up along with him and there remained 3, who kept on sitting. Then the Prophet came back and found those people still sitting. Later on those people got up and went away. So I went to the Prophet and informed him that they had left. The Prophet came, and entered, his house. I wanted to enter, along with him, but he dropped a curtain between me and him. Allah then revealed, O you who believe, do not enter the Prophet's houses until leave is given, to his statement. Verily, that shall be an enormity, in Allah's sight. 33.53, Sahih al-Bukhari 6271 reference 79 Hadith 45. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Ibn Umar. I saw Allah's Messenger in the courtyard of the Kaaba in the Idibah posture, putting his hand round his legs like this. Sahih al-Bukhari 6272 reference 79 Hadith 46. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Bakr. Allah's Messenger said, "Shall I inform you of the biggest of the great sins?" They said, "Yes, O Allah's Apostle." He said, "To join partners in worship with Allah, and to be undutiful to one's parents." Sahih al-Bukhari 6273 reference 79 Hadith 47. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Bishr. As above, number 290. Adding, the Prophet was reclining, leaning. And then he sat up saying, "And I warn you against giving a false statement." And he kept on saying that warning so much so that we said, would that he had stopped. Sahih al-Bukhari 6274 reference 79 Hadith 48. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Uqba bin al-Harith. Once the Prophet offered the Asr prayer and then he walked quickly and entered his house. Sahih al-Bukhari 6275 reference 79 Hadith 49. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Aisha. Allah's Messenger used to offer his prayer while standing in the midst of the bed, and I used to lie in front of him between him and the Qibla if I had any necessity for getting up, and I used to dislike to get up and face him while he was in prayer, but I would gradually slip away from the bed. Sahih al-Bukhari 6276 reference 79 Hadith 50. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah bin Amr. The news of my fasting was mentioned to the Prophet. So he entered upon me and I put for him a leather cushion stuffed with palm fibers. The Prophet sat on the floor and the cushion was between me and him. He said to me, "Isn't it sufficient for you that you fast 3 days a month?" I said, "O Allah's Messenger, I can fast more than this." He said, "You may fast 5 days a month." I said, "O Allah's Messenger, I can fast more than this." He said, "You may fast 7 days." I said, "O Allah's Apostle." He said, 9. I said, "O Allah's Messenger." He said, 11. I said, "O Allah's Messenger." He said, "No fasting is superior to the fasting of the Prophet David, which was 1/2 of a year, and he used to fast on alternate days." See Hadith number 300, Volume 3, Sahih al-Bukhari 6277 reference 79 Hadith 51. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Ibrahim. Alakama went to Sham and came to the mosque and offered a 2 rakat prayer, and invoked Allah. "O Allah, bless me with a pious, good companion." So he sat beside Abu ad-Darda, who asked, "From where are you?" He said, "From the people of Kufa." Abu Darda said, "Wasn't there among you the person who keeps the secrets of the Prophet, which nobody knew except him? That is, Hudhayfa bin al-Yaman. And isn't there among you the person whom Allah gave refuge from Satan through the request, tongue, of Allah's Messenger? That is, Ammar. Isn't there among you the one who used to carry the siwak and the cushion, or pillows, of the prophets? That is, Ibn Mas'ud. How did Ibn Mas'ud use to recite by the night as it conceals the light?" Surah 92. Alqamah said, "Wadakari wal untha," and by male and female. Abu ad-Darda added, "These people continued to argue with me regarding it till they were about to cause me to have doubts, although I heard it from Allah's Messenger." Sahih al-Bukhari 6278 reference 79 Hadith 52. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Sahl bin Sa'di. We used to have a midday nap and take our meals after the Jamu'ah, prayer. Sahih al-Bukhari 6279 reference 79 Hadith 53. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Sahl bin Sa'di. There was no name dearer to Ali than his nickname Abu Turab, the father of dust. He used to feel happy whenever he was called by this name. Once Allah's messenger came to the house of Fatima but did not find Ali in the house. So he asked, "Where is your cousin?" She replied, "There was something, a quarrel, between me and him, whereupon he got angry with me and went out without having a midday nap in my house. Allah's messenger asked a person to look for him. That person came, and said, 'O Allah's messenger, he, Ali, is sleeping in the mosque.' So Allah's messenger went there and found him lying. His upper body cover had fallen off to one side of his body, and so he was covered with dust. Allah's messenger started cleaning the dust from him, saying, 'Get up, O Abu Turab. Get up, Abu Turab.'" See Hadith number 432, Volume 1, Sahih al-Bukhari 6280 reference 79 Hadith 54. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Thumama. Anas said, Sulaim used to spread a leather sheet for the Prophet and he used to take a midday nap on that leather sheet at her home. Anas added, when the Prophet had slept, she would take some of his sweat and hair and collect it, the sweat, in a bottle and then mix it with suk, a kind of perfume, while he was still sleeping. When the death of Anas bin Malik approached, he advised that some of that suk be mixed with his hanat, perfume for embalming the dead body, and it was mixed with his hanat. Sahih al-Bukhari 6281 reference 79 Hadith 55. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas bin Malik. Whenever Allah's messenger went to Kuba, he used to visit Haram bint Milhan, who would offer him meals, and she was the wife of Ubadah bin as-Samit. One day he went to her house and she offered him a meal, and after that he slept, and then woke up smiling. She, Haram, said, I asked him, "What makes you laugh, O Allah's messenger?" He said, "Some people of my followers were displayed before me as warriors fighting for Allah's cause and sailing over this sea, kings on thrones, or said, like kings on thrones." The narrator, Ishaq, is in doubt about it. I, Haram, said, "O Allah's apostle, invoke Allah that he may make me one of them." He invoked Allah for her and then lay his head and slept again and then woke up smiling. I asked, "What makes you laugh, O Allah's messenger?" He said, "Some people of my followers were displayed before me as warriors fighting for Allah's cause and sailing over this sea, kings on the thrones, or said, like kings on the thrones." I, Haram. Sahih al-Bukhari 6282, 6283 reference 79 Hadith 56. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission said, "O Allah's messenger, invoke Allah that he may make me one of them." He said, "You will be amongst the first ones." It is said that Haram sailed over the sea at the time of Muawiyah, and on coming out of the sea, she fell down from her riding animal and died. Sahih al-Bukhari 6282, 6283 reference 79 Hadith 56. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet forbade two kinds of dresses and two kinds of bargains. Ishtamal as-sama and al-itiba in one garment with no part of it covering one's private parts. The two kinds of bargains were smiley face, al-mulamasa and al-munabada. Sahih al-Bukhari 6284 reference 79 Hadith 57. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Aisha, mother of the believers. We, the wives of the Prophet, were all sitting with the Prophet, and none of us had left when Fatima came walking, and by Allah, her gait was very similar to that of Allah's Messenger. When he saw her, he welcomed her, saying, "Welcome, O my daughter." Then he made her sit on his right or his left, confided something to her, whereupon she wept bitterly. When he noticed her sorrow, he confided something else to her for the second time, and she started laughing. Only I from among the Prophet's wives said to her, "O Fatima, Allah's Messenger selected you from among us for the secret talk, and still you weep." When Allah's Messenger got up and went away, I asked her, "What did he confide to you?" She said, "I wouldn't disclose the secrets of Allah's Messenger, but when he died I asked her, 'I beseech you earnestly by what right I have on you, to tell me that secret talk which the Prophet had with you.' She said, 'As you ask me now, yes, I will tell you.'" Sahih al-Bukhari 6285, 6286 reference 79 Hadith 58. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission she informed me, saying, "When he talked to me secretly the first time, he said that Gabriel used to review the Quran with him once every year. He added, but this year he reviewed it with me twice, and therefore I think that my time of death has approached. So, be afraid of Allah, and be patient, for I am the best predecessor for you, in the hereafter." Fatima added, "So I wept as you, Aisha, witnessed. And when the Prophet saw me in this sorrowful state, he confided the second secret to me, saying, 'O Fatima, will you not be pleased that you will be chief of all the believing women, or chief of the women of this nation that is my followers?'" Sahih al-Bukhari 6285, 6286 reference 79 Hadith 58. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated the uncle of Abbas bin Tamim. I saw Allah's Messenger lying on his back in the mosque and putting one of his legs over the other. Sahih al-Bukhari 6287 reference 79 Hadith 59. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah. The Prophet said, "When three persons are together, then no two of them should hold secret counsel excluding the third person." Sahih al-Bukhari 6288 reference 79 Hadith 60. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet confided to me a secret which I did not disclose to anybody after him. And Sulaim asked me about that secret, but I did not tell her. Sahih al-Bukhari 6289 reference 79 Hadith 61. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah. The Prophet said, "When you are three persons sitting together, then no two of you should hold secret counsel excluding the third person until you are with some other people too, for that would grieve him." Sahih al-Bukhari 6290 reference 79 Hadith 62. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abdullah. One day the Prophet divided and distributed something amongst the people, whereupon an Ansari man said, "In this division Allah's countenance has not been sought." I said, "By Allah, I will go and inform the Prophet." So I went to him while he was with a group of people, and I secretly informed him of that, whereupon he became so angry that his face became red, and he then said, "May Allah bestow His mercy on Moses, for he was hurt more than that, yet he remained patient." Sahih al-Bukhari 6291 reference 79 Hadith 63. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Anas. The Iqamah for the prayer was announced while a man was talking to Allah's Messenger privately. He continued talking in that way till the Prophet's companions slept, and afterwards the Prophet got up and offered the prayer with them. Sahih al-Bukhari 6292 reference 79 Hadith 64. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Salim's father. The Prophet said, "Do not keep the fire burning in your houses when you go to bed." Sahih al-Bukhari 6293 reference 79 Hadith 65. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Musa. One night a house in Medina was burnt with its occupants. The Prophet spoke about them, saying, "This fire is indeed your enemy, so whenever you go to bed, put it out to protect yourselves." Sahih al-Bukhari 6294 reference 79 Hadith 66. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Habir bin Abdullah. Allah's Messenger said, "At bedtime, cover the utensils, close the doors, and put out the lights, lest the evil creature, the rat, should pull away the wick and thus burn the people of the house." Sahih al-Bukhari 6295 reference 79 Hadith 67. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Habir. Allah's Apostle said, "When you intend going to bed at night, put out the lights, close the doors, tie the mouths of the waterskins, and cover your food and drinks." Hamranam said, "I think he," the other narrator, added, "even with piece of wood across the utensil." Sahih al-Bukhari 6296 reference 79 Hadith 68. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said 5 things are in accordance with al-Fitra. That is the tradition of prophets: to be circumcised, to shave the pelvic region, to pull out the hair of the armpits, to cut short the mustaches, and to clip the nails. Sahih al-Bukhari 6297 reference 79 Hadith 69. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said the Prophet, "Abraham circumcised himself after he had passed the age of 80 years and he circumcised himself with an adze." Sahih al-Bukhari 6298 reference 79 Hadith 70. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Said bin Jubair. Ibn Abbas was asked, "How old were you when the Prophet died?" He replied, "At that time I had been circumcised. At that time, people did not circumcise the boys till they attained the age of puberty." Said bin Jubair said, Ibn Abbas said, "When the Prophet died, I had already been circumcised." Sahih al-Bukhari 6299 reference 79 Hadith 71. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission said Ibn Jubair said, Ibn Abbas said, "When the Prophet died, I had already been circumcised." Sahih al-Bukhari 6300 reference 79 Hadith 72. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, "Whoever among you takes an oath wherein he says, by Al-Lat and Al-Uzza, names of 2 idols worshipped by the pagans, he should say, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. And whoever says to his friend, come, let me gamble with you, he should give something in charity." See Hadith number 645. Sahih al-Bukhari 6301 reference 79 Hadith 73. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Ibn Umar. During the lifetime of the Prophet I built a house with my own hands so that it might protect me from the rain and shade me from the sun, and none of Allah's creatures assisted me in building it. Sahih al-Bukhari 6302 reference 79 Hadith 74. Sahih al-Bukhari, asking permission narrated Amr. Ibn Umar said, "By Allah, I have not put a brick over a brick, that is constructed a building, or planted any date palm tree since the death of the Prophet." Sufyan, the sub-narrator, said, "I told this narration of Ibn Umar to one of his, Ibn Umar's, relatives, and he said, by Allah, he did build something. Sufyan added, I said, he must have said the above narration before he built. Sahih al-Bukhari 6303 reference 79 Hadith 75.